Lighthouse Fellowship, Ms. Jody Williamson.
Thank you very much. I think we have the best class, but we're going to tell you more about that here in just a moment. I think that I have never spoken at a graduation before, but I remember at my high school graduation, we had a guy who was a very gifted speaker, and he talked about changes, and the only thing I remember from that speech was graduation was like changing your underwear. But that's what we compare graduation to, since you're going at, high school graduation is like going from one change to another. So I think that's kind of like the change we're doing right now. We're graduating from this class, but we're changing from all the things that we've learned in this last year and how we're going to apply them and how we're going to use them in the future, which I think is the main thing about what you would like us to do with that. Well, this last 9 months has gone so fast. Would you not agree, 2013? Yes. It's gone really fast. Now, remember when people would come and talk to us, and they would encourage us to do this, and they would say, oh, the places you will go, like Dr. Seuss would say, and now we can look back and say, oh, the places that we have been. And so that's really, really cool. And I think that we're going to have so many memories that are just amazing. I'm not going to go into a lot of what we did because our class did a lot of the same things your classes did. And those of you that are family know that you probably heard about it, got an earful anyway. So you got a lot of the details. But we did start off in September. When we go to where was that place called? It was Ponder, yeah. And it was like a challenge course branch. We got challenged a lot, but we learned a lot about team building and working together as a team and getting to know one another, which was so cool. It was so neat. But we had a highlight that happened that day that Jane will probably never live down. And that is, she's at the top of the platform getting ready to go off the zip line, and she'll have to tell you what she said. It's something like, oh, yes. Anyway, we were really proud of Jane because she conquered her fears that day. And Dean, her husband, was like, we tried to do the ziplining thing several times. They're world travelers. And finally, on that day, Jane said, oh, yes. And she went for it. So it was really cool. We were proud of her that day. Our class did a lot of the same things your classes did. But one thing that we did that was different is we went to the grain elevator. Have there any of you that are not in our class, have you toured the grain elevator? Anybody? Well, I remember the guy who was there that day and said, whoa, you're the first group that's ever come here. So we got to do it first. And it was really cool. I don't know if you guys all know, but hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of yards on this big, long, I don't know what it is, ramp, where you watched all the rain come through. That's amazing. So I hope that other classes get to do that too, because we really, really enjoyed that. Another thing that was a little bit different this year was we got involved with LeaderCast a little bit, which is a simulcast on leadership. And out of the great generosity of Mike Tipton, he paid for the way for 6 of our group to go, along with a couple other alumni and Brendan as well. And so, if you were here, I would say thank you, Mike, because that was like a coming together of all the things we learned that year, and kind of a way to put some icing on the cake with that. The class project we did on April 25th was really awesome, I thought. And I know that Renee and Brendan talked about it and shared it with some others. And we had some exemplary leadership in Patrick Farr, who's not here tonight, and some others. And I kind of wondered how we were going to bring all this together. But with leaders, I think a lot of times you don't have to worry about that so much, because we're just gonna do it, and that's what happened. I remember getting there, and here comes Dr. Dean and Jane. They show up. They're up all the stuff. We unloaded all, and our project was to occur at Community Link in Saginaw. Are you all familiar with Community Link? Okay. Anyway, we're working with Karen Fuller, the director there, and we load all of our stuff, and we put out our tables, we do get our stuff all together, and I just want to brag on a few things that happened that day. We had a great sign guy. I think every class needs a sign guy. Right there, you'll see an example of one of them. But Justin Brown came and he put up professional signs that looked like that. It looked really nice. It was really neat. Also, we had people doing job apps and interviews because our goal that day was to help some of these folks maybe get a job or learn how to prepare for a job, something like that. So David Pierce from Tarrant County College, and maybe you worked with Justin somewhat. He gave some computer basics. That was one of the things that they did that day. We were outside. The day was beautiful. The sun was shining, and we were enjoying it. Also, Carol Ann Webster with Mary Kay. Carol Ann helped people prepare their looks so to be professional looking. We had amazing resources, and I'm just going to brag on Gail because we all kind of sat back, and Gail Washington, we kind of sat back, and she's from Tarrant College too, and we just kind of looked at her and went, wow. I don't know, but what we loved so much was Gail could talk to a person and reach into their heart, and she could look at them and hear what they had to say, and she could find ways to reach them and provide information for them. And Brendan is still impressed with the resource guide that Gail put together. I know our church uses it, and I think the chamber uses it. All the chambers are using it. But if you don't have this guide for your business or whatever you're at, it's amazing. It has all kinds of resources in Tarrant County.
I use it on a daily basis.
So Linda uses them on a daily basis. So that was really cool. You know, to be able to do that, to have someone like Gail put that together. H&R Block was there, kind of talking about taxes with people with Cindy Williford and some of her crew. So that was really neat as well. And have to mention all the folks who were there at the tables with Cassandra Darst and Michael Demas and Marcus Foote, Penny McNeil, who now, through this group, has a new job. She started out with doing apartments. She started out working in an apartment building, wasn't all excited about that, but meets up with Justin Brown and now brings our signs, and she says she's so happy. So we're really proud about that. So there's a lot of things that can happen. Also, we had Terry Mize was there and helping us with our project, Terry, so thank you. And there was Carrie Summers and Catherine Swenson, all of us working as a team, just came together. It was so neat, and I hope I'll let them know when I ask. But everyone did their part, like I mentioned. But what we learned about the people there that day when we were serving, I think, will leave a lasting impression on me. There were all kinds of people that came, but there were people that had education, but somehow were finding a job. And then there were those that had just given up. And Karen Fuller said that's what she deals with every day. There were people that just flat out had given up on everything. So if all we could do that day was to love on people and say, give them a smile or whatever, then we did something with that. But I honestly believe that we actually did get to help maybe 4 or 5 people who really wanted that kind of help, especially with the resources that some of us were able to offer them. So that was really, really neat. Future impact with that. I remember talking to Jim Fairchild. He's the chair of Community Link, and he said he had a dream or a vision about doing this very thing. And he saw that it had come together like that on that day. What I'm hoping when they get their new place, because they're creating this new building, they're all excited about it, that So that's what our class project was like. It was really neat. We had the cooperation of the church next door, along with Community League, and just to talk to people. Gail brought a whole bunch of clothes and hung them on a rack, and you should have seen these ladies go through those clothes. You would have thought, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, they can go to Goodwill, they can go anywhere. But there were some people who really, really, really enjoyed that. Some of our class comments I wanted to share with you, and things that have a lot of meaning when we do this sort of thing. I want to share what Catherine Swinson said. I really feel we're the best class. And we all got along so well and supported each other. I definitely feel that with our class we will have lifelong friendships. From this experience, and look at forward in a whole new way with all we've learned. Very well said. This is from Marcus Foote with Legal Shield. Marcus says, I attempt to grow a business in Northwest Tarrant County. I hope that the Leadership Northwest program can help me become acquainted with the communities, their leaders, and their existing businesses. The program accomplished all of this, as well as fostered friendships with 16 diverse leaders in our class, each with a wide variety of backgrounds, interests, and talents. I definitely found the program worth the time and the expense, and strongly urge others to sign up. Thank you, Marcus. And from Cassandra Darst, Cassandra says, who knew that you could pack so much information about so many things in one day? Yeah, we would be worn out at the end of every day. And like Cassandra was just sharing, go back to work on Friday was sometimes hard to do because of all we experienced the day before. This is from Gail Washington. The memory that stands out to me the most was when Jane and I jumped off the zip line together. I recall her cussing all the way up that we had to climb this big tall pole to get there. But with the wind in her hair and possible bugs in her teeth, that moment of fear disappeared as quickly as our ride went. Then she says, it's been a pleasure getting to know everyone as well as the offerings that we learned in Tarrant County. Do I feel like a leader now that it's over? Yes, because a leader has to know how to listen. And by learning all of the nooks and crannies of the area, I am now more aware of my surroundings and the resources that are available to all residents. Listening will allow me to disseminate that information. Very well said. Thank you, Gail. Well, what have we gained? Well, like John Maxwell says, if leadership is influence, then maybe we learn to become better influencers. And all of us as leaders in some way or another, whether we're a parent or we have an opportunity at different times to lead. But I would say, in summarizing this, that there's a lot of life change that happens in the last 9 months. A lot we learn about ourselves. A lot we learn about our community. We go through a lot of emotions. We go through fear, right, Jane? Yeah. To challenges. Learning, we learn a lot, we share a lot, we discover a lot. We gain some understanding, maybe. You know, as you're looking out there, I know I'm the kind of person that often would say, why don't they fix that? Why don't they do that? And sometimes a little judgmental. But after a while, you begin to see how things have to connect with so many other things, and the solutions are not always easy. We laugh a lot. But probably most importantly is we became more aware of real people and real problems. I remember the day the Council of Governments came in. I didn't even know what that was. But it's a lot of entities that get together and try to create solutions and try to work on complex things that need to happen. And what that does, I think, is it opens ourselves into seeing the big picture and not just seeing the little microscopic area that we're all involved in. We learn that problems truly are not easy to solve in a world that's very complex and and oftentimes chaotic. We're so grateful as a class. We want to thank Brendan. Thank you so much. All of you know, most of you know, that the tireless work that Brendan does. And Renee is there virtually in every class. She's there in every class. She runs a realty business, but she's there, you know. We sometimes say we're too busy, but there she was, you know, just applauding us and organizing us and doing it so professionally. I have so much admiration for both of you in that respect. And for Delinda back there who keeps the home fires burning in the office, we really appreciate you for that. Sometimes I say to Delinda, can you be with us? No, I gotta be in the office, and she'd do it with a smile, and I'm like, so I think sometimes she'd like to be. But anyway, thank you so much. And we thank all the businesses and organizations who shared their stories with us, and all the alumni who came and made our experience what it was. It takes dedication and all of that to do that. And now I think you see what our class slogan is, 2013 Reign Supreme. And I thank Kenny McNeil, not only for the slogan, but the banner. Thank you so much.
We'll be bringing that to everything we participate in. I'll be the banner.
Well, hey, we don't need a banner. My next year's graduation always will have one too, man.
Well, you know how most of us have had to suffer a lot, and especially at chamber luncheons, hearing all these people bragging about their class, and one of them in particular, the whole lot. I just want to close with this little thing. Many have boasted their class is the best, but we're here to put all those rumors to rest. AU class now dominates the scene. So move over, y'all, and take your bow to the supreme, the exemplary, but forever famous class of 2013. But I will say about some of the classes, we admire the friendships that we see you have, and the fun you have. And I hope and pray that that's what our class will be like as well. And so now it's my honor and privilege to introduce Renee Kohler. Most of you know her, but she's just amazing and keeps us all together. She's